guys, assalamu alaikum, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. This is a video on what to pack for Umrah. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe and like and comment on my videos. Right, so we've actually been on Umrah 3 times. So we went in 2016 just to Umrah, went with my family and my in-laws, and that was lovely. And then in 2018 we actually did Hajj, so that was an amazing experience. And then 2018 we went on Umrah again. So I've kind of been enough times to know what to pack in your Umrah bag and what are the essentials. There are really big stores there called Bin Dawood. If you've been, you've probably heard of them. They do everything there. You can find anything and everything there. But there's just certain things that I just think you need to take from the UK. We'll be doing a series of these videos, so I've got hints and tips and tricks and how to go with the baby and what to do and what to pack and blah 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 blah. So if you do want to see those, do subscribe to my channel. I don't know where the link is, videos, and inshallah I will get those out fairly soon. Right, so let's get started. The first thing that I think you should buy is a book on Umrah, because first time we went, I had no idea what to expect, what to do, everything. And we got these books. They're called Hajj and Umrah Made Easy, and it's basically, we've had these for like years, like 3 years now. So you literally just go through everything in this book and you'll know how to perform Umrah, all the du'as, everything that you need to do, where everything is, and just loads of tips as well, because they give you little prayers to read as well, just in your spare time or while you're doing tawaf. But basically they're really good in terms of showing you where everything is as well. So they'll have like maps of things. I'm just trying to find one. Wait. So for example, they'll have like maps of like Safa Marwa, telling you how to do Sa'i, telling you that there's a ground floor and an upper floor, etc, etc. There might be a new version of these, but definitely one to have. What I did was just tab the ones that I really needed to look at or revisit while I was there. So for example, there was one here that you say at the Black Stone, the prayer that you say at the Yemeni corner, what you do, and then from the Yemeni corner to the Black Stone, the prayer that you say. So it gives you everything, and you can literally put it around your neck and perform Umrah with it. It's so simple, so easy. The next thing I would say is it's not really what to pack in Umrah, but it's going to be in my next video as well, but it's about prayer books. These are so important because you will have so much time. If you're going for 10 days, a week or whatever, you'll have so much time to actually do loads of du'as and prayers. And what I did was, I did so much. I don't think I did enough. You can never do enough, but you basically, there's just pages and pages and pages of prayers. And in this book, what I did was do little tabs for Quranic prayers, prayers for family, prayers that people told me to say, and prayers for myself, and prophet prayers as well. So really handy just to be able to have this in your backpack while you're going to the haram or while you're performing Umrah, because your mind will go blank. Like, you won't be able to remember all the things that people have told you, or all the things that you want to pray for, and things that you want to ask forgiveness for. All those things you will not be able to remember, and just having it written down in a book just before you go, just do that. It will be so much easier. I went through these books probably 2 or 3 times while I was there, and when you're writing them down, it makes you think as well. So when you're talking about prayers and when you're writing prayers down, it makes you think about so many other things as to if you just went there and just started praying yourself. So it just opens a lot of doors for different things as well. So definitely get some books like this and start writing in them. Right, so the next thing is to make sure that you have good luggage. So if you are going with your partner or your family or whoever you're going with, to take 2 big luggages, big suitcases, and 1 small hold luggage. It's very common for luggage to get lost if you go to Saudi. So we've already had the 3 times that we went, 2 times somebody in our group lost their luggage, and I mean in our group as in my family. So one time it was Zahid and one time it was my brother-in-law. So definitely this is like advice that I would stick to 100%. In both big bags I would split male and female. So if you're going with yourself and your husband, just do half of your stuff, half of husband's, and half of yours in both bags. Just because if one gets lost, you will have enough stuff in the other bag for both of you. And then in your hold luggage, I would suggest to put 1 ihram in and an abaya for yourself, and then just other little bits and bobs that you can take on the cabin. So basically try and get 2 ihrams. They're not that expensive, probably about 15-20 pounds. You can get them from Saudi, but sometimes they come with buttons and things like that. You don't want anything like that. You just want the plain material, and you can get those from the UK or wherever you are. You'll find an Islamic shop. Just get one of those and it will be so much more easier, because Zahid did lose his ihram, and alhamdulillah, we had a spare one in our hold luggage. That was really, really helpful. I would also suggest to get a belt for your suitcase, just because they do chuck them around quite a lot in Saudi, and you just want to make sure that your stuff is kept secure. I would also say to make sure you have a really good luggage tag on your suitcase, because with your name, address, phone number, because if it does get lost, it'll be so much easier for them to contact you and to figure out where to deliver your luggage. So the next thing is women's items and men's item. I won't go into loads of detail, but what I did was pack an abaya for every day. My mother-in-law and my mum are super women. They packed light, and they took a few abayas and washed them while they were there. You can do that, but with me, I was like, make it easy. 1 a day is perfect for me. Pack enough leggings, pack enough socks. I would suggest to get these kind of socks that you can get, you know, the little pop socks, but they have like cushions. You can get a lot of them at Primark. I'm not sure about worldwide, but in the UK there's a shop called Primark, and they do these sole ones. They're like £1. Really, really good. Try and get black ones, just because you don't want to get like dust and gunk on your slippers. Definitely pack enough hijabs. I always wear the hot hijabs now, because you don't need pins. Like these ones, you need pins to put them in place. You need to wear a cap, you need to wear your bun, everything. With the hot hijabs ones, they're so nice and loose. You can just fling them on and not worry about them coming off throughout the day. But if you are taking these, definitely take some pins, because there will be a lot of people shoving you, and you don't want your hijab to come off while you're doing Umrah. So just try and keep it all nice and tight and secure during Umrah time, but other times I just wore it nice and comfortable with like an airy jersey hijab. Yeah, for men, just pack enough thobes and trousers. I would definitely suggest to get the thobes from Al Asir. They are really, really good. So if you wash them, it's just minimal ironing, and they look really nice and crisp. But definitely pack enough thobes and trousers, and definitely pack 2 ihrams. So 1 in your luggage that you put through and 1 in your cabin luggage. I would also suggest a massive tub of Vaseline. They will definitely need this, as well as a beard trimmer. So if the barbers are really busy, you can just trim your hair yourself. It is obviously sunnah to shave your hair, but a lot of men these days, like with Zahid, he's got work and things like that when you come back, so literally just a trim, and that was perfect for him, and having it yourself is just more easy and convenient. Comfortable shoes. You'll be walking a lot. There's something like 30,000 steps that you do when you do Umrah, so you'll be walking a lot, traveling a lot. You want something comfortable and easy to use if you're doing wuzu all the time. So what I found was the best shoes to take was these Crocs, not the big clunky ones. They're literally like these girly Crocs that come like this. The guys can obviously get their flip-flops or whatever, but for women it's just so nice and comfortable. They got this like really nice secure padding at the bottom, so it's really bouncy, and it's all like, you can use it with water. Like if you've done your wuzu, you put your feet back in and they're absolutely fine. You can wear them with socks, and they've got like a little back thing. I never wore that. I always like wore them like flip-flops. But next thing is to try and get a UV umbrella. So we got this one we got 2 of these actually, it was actually from TK Maxx, but it is really hot, and in the shade it is probably about 3 degrees cooler, so it's always best to be in the shade if you are in direct sunlight. If you are in the haram and walking around on the ground floor, you will need an umbrella, because it will be scorching. It's so hot, and just having this, it just protects you a bit, you know, suntan and all of that as well. But really, really handy to have a coloured one, or something with a pattern so that people can recognise you in your group, so your family or whoever you are going with. This was really helpful. Actually, my sister-in-law had this like really funny green one. It was a kid's one, and that was probably the best one to take, because wherever she was, we knew where she was. Also try and take a really good lightweight backpack. I took this one on one of them, and then on the others I took these other small ones, but this is my most recent one, and it was just so easy. I got this from TK Maxx as well, and it's just had like little pockets here, little zips at the top, and like a really big zip in the middle. and you can hold it like this, but it's always best to hold the backpacks on your front when you go on Umrah, just because you wouldn't believe it, but there are thieves and people who pickpocket when you're there. So just to be on the safe side, have it on the front, and you can easily access it while you're walking around, and it's just so much simpler. This time I actually had it on my back because we had Yahya, but people who aren't going with kids, it's so much better to have it on your front. And it's just really good to hold like your water bottle, your prayer books, your Quran, your shoes. So when you go in, you'll have a little shoe bag, and you just put your shoes in there, and you can just pop it in your bag, and just carry a few snacks around as well, because you will need snacks throughout the day. If you are staying in the haram for most of the day, you will want something to just snack on while you're there, and it's quite nice to hand out as well, so there'll be other people there from all parts of the world, and they will be hungry, they will want a little snack, they will want something to eat, so it's nice to just share around, and you build yourself a little community wherever you're sitting, so it's quite nice. Sorry, I think I've got something in my eye. But the next thing that you will need is sunglasses. It is so important. Like, my mum never wears sunglasses, but when we were there she wore them all the time. But just have some good sunglasses that you have good UV rays on, that has like good UV protection on, just because in the sun you won't be able to see. It's so difficult. So there is marble in most places, and there is carpet in a lot of places, especially in Medina. You may not need it, however when it is busy you will, or you might just have to end up praying on the marble, as well as in Mecca it happens there as well. So I would suggest take a travel prayer mat. However, if you've got one at home, great, take it with you, but if not, in Mecca, Medina, everywhere you can find these like little small ones. They're like 5 or 10 reals, always haggle because you're in Saudi. They're about 5 or 10 reals, and you can just use them when you're there and then give them to somebody when you're leaving, and then they can use them. What we did when we went was actually buy quite a lot of them and just hand them out, because there are some people that do pray on the marble. So it was quite a good way of doing sadaqah, really, just to give out prayer mats, and inshallah you'll get all the swab for any prayers that they do. So there are people from all over the world in Saudi Arabia that go for Umrah and Hajj. What I would definitely suggest is to get a dusk mask. So you can get these little masks that you put around your face, and they've got like a little filter. They're the ones that we took anyway, but you can get the plain ones. But the dusk masks are so helpful for you to protect your throat, your lungs, any viruses or anything that's going around, because so many people come back with coughs and they become ill. Before we went, we did a whole dose of a month of vitamin C's top up, so every day we would take vitamin C drinks, and we did it while we were there, and alhamdulillah, we didn't get ill at all. Medication bag. It is so important for one of you in your group to take a good medication bag, so things like Imodium, paracetamol, is that it? Yeah. So things like Imodium, paracetamol, muscle cream, antibiotics, anything that you can take with you, just do take, because it is difficult to come by while you're there. You'll have to go to the pharmacy and pay quite a lot of money for the medication there. So if you can take it, take it. Imodium you can't actually get in Saudi Arabia, so definitely take Imodium with you. You can also get SPF 50 unscented cream, so do make sure you try and get some of those, because you can use those while you're doing Umrah. That will be the most time that you're outside in the sun, so definitely try and get that. However, saying that, Safa Marwa is actually indoors. The only time that you'll be outside is if you decide to do your tawafs on the ground floor where it is open. You can do it on the second and third, but you have shelter and there's AC and fans and everything, but it is still hot. So for toiletries, you do need to have unscented items for when you're doing Umrah, but for the rest of the time you can just use normal stuff. So what I would suggest, the mistake that I made was take like hundreds of like Simple products. So there's this brand called Simple, and they do unscented products. Like all of their things are unscented, and it's perfect to take for Umrah. However, you don't need to take that for the whole trip. So what I did was just put them in a little, you know, you can get those disposable or travel pack size bottles. That's the best thing to do, and just take your normal stuff with you for the other days, because yeah, you're not going to need all of it. Take a cooling fan, so one that sprays a little bit of water out as well. I got mine from Amazon. I'll put the links down below, but it was a lifesaver. When you go on your ziyaras in Medina or even in Mecca, you will have no AC. You will be outside in the scorching heat, and you would want something to cool you down, because you'll be sitting there listening to lectures there'll be somebody talking to you all the time, and you're not going to be sitting in the van. So definitely take a fan. Really, really helpful for if somebody else is feeling unwell, you can give it to them. Take lots of tissues. Everybody will have a runny nose or a cough or something, or you'll have spillages on the floor. You'll need as many tissues as you can get. It is so important to take enough, because you don't really get many at the hotel. You can't like go to the shops and buy a pack, like that's just so long. You don't want to be shopping when you're in Umrah, or if you're doing Hajj, like minimal shopping as possible. You will need a shoe bag to take, because when you go into the haram, you'll take your shoes off, put them in a bag and put them in your backpack. So for women, I would suggest to take small scissors. Got these, but these are like little Yahya's ones, but you can get like mini scissors like this, and it's just for after you do your Umrah, you can get your mum or your sister or your husband, however, to just cut the ends of your hair off to complete your Umrah. It's just so much easier, and there won't be any at the hotel. I think this time we went, I actually forgot mine, or actually no, I took mine but I couldn't find them, which is really annoying. And I asked the hotel and they didn't have any, so definitely take some scissors with you. Do take a photocopy of all your documents, so your passport, your visas, your travel documents, car hire if you're doing that, or if you and your hotel. Just because if you're going in a group, they take your passports with you. You just want something just in case something happens. You have something on you for everybody, and you're able to show it straight away. I would 100% suggest to take a folding chair. It was a lifesaver while we were there. I had one with, it was like a camping one you could put over your shoulder, you could sit down on it, and it had like a little drink pocket next to it. It was so helpful because we were there for a lot of the time. So if you're sitting for hours on the marble floor, it is very painful. And if you have a chair, so much easier. You can get chairs in the haram, but at busy times, it does get extremely busy, and I think it's better for the elders to have chairs if they need them. So definitely do that. And if you have your own chair, nobody's really going to ask you for it. But if somebody else needs it, just give it to them. Don't forget to take some antibacterial gel, just like the normal ones that you can get. It is so important because so many germs and things going around. Like I said, there's people from all over the world that go, so just be careful and keep that on you just in case. You can just clean your hands. And when you go, just take 500 Saudi Riyals. It's probably the most amount of money that you'll need on the way there. It's not that much, but just in case, it is better to change your money in Saudi, and if you go into the high street stores, it's so much better. You get such a better rate than you do in the UK or at the airports or wherever you are. I would also suggest to take a travel iron. These were really helpful during Hajj actually, but I got this from my mum. It's just a Russell & Hobbs one, but it's got like a little steamer with it as well, so it was really handy. And you just use them for your clothes, and asking the hotel for an iron is an absolute nightmare. They take forever, and sometimes you just want to get out the door. So taking a travel iron is like one of my musts, just in case you definitely need one. Right, so that's about it. I hope this video has been helpful and you can take a lot of tips along with it. I would also suggest, just my last point, is a really nice compact Quran. So I had like one of those small ones. They are so helpful while you're traveling on the plane or while you're there. It's just easy to take out and easy to read, and just to get in the zone really. But yeah, I hope this video has been helpful. I hope you guys have got a lot of tips from it, and inshallah I will do a few series of these just to help other people who are going with kids, who are going on Hajj, and just some tips on what to do when you're there and where to go and where to shop. Anyway, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe, and inshallah I will see you guys very soon. Bye!